Hi, folks. We're here with Gear Fisher, co-founder of OnForm, which is a video analysis app and coaching solution for instant feedback, where you can save time, coach smarter, and stay organized. This is a phenomenal program. You guys are going to really like it. I can tell you, I use it myself, and I've used lots of them, and this is the best one I've ever used. So there's been a void created by the exit of both huddle and coach's eye in this arena, leaving coaches looking for a great solution. We just found one. Try this out. Let's find out a little bit from Gear about what he's made and why it's so incredible. Gear, tell us a little bit about OnForm and the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. OnForm started because actually, almost 10 years ago, at the company I previously founded, which is called Training Peaks, which is a endurance athletics coaching platform. One of the big uses was by triathletes and by swimmers. And we had built this platform that allowed people to, coaches and athletes to have a conversation about fitness and how to get fit and training mechanics, et cetera. But swimming was one of the most technical that an endurance athlete runs up against, and video was always being used, even 10 years ago, by coaches. And I wanted to integrate video into Training Peaks. So I set out looking for a company or an app to do that we could blend in. And that led me, this is about 2014, and that led me to a company called UberSense back in the day. And I met the founder, and we were looking at investing or trying to acquire that company so that we could plug in video into Training Peaks. Well, that didn't end up happening. I met the founder, Krishna Ramachandran, great guy, loved the app, but he ended up selling the app to Huddle, and it then became Huddle Technique, got renamed, rebranded. And we went our merry way, and I was always fascinated with video and kind of its effect on how it can teach people technique and form. And nothing came of it until my time at Training Peaks came to an end in 2018. And I also saw Krishna actually tweeted that it was his last day with Huddle. And I said, I reached out to him and said, hey, I'd sure love to, talk about building a video platform that takes advantage of all the advances that are happening in video and cameras, AI technology, computer vision, machine learning. Some incredible stuff's happened over the last, 5 years even. So we started talking, and we launched OnForm in March of 2020, right as this other thing was happening in 2020. And the pandemic kind of slowed our growth, but it also allowed us to just keep heads down and iterate like crazy. And one of the craziest things is, we maintained a good relationship with the company Huddle, and we talked to them about buying Huddle Technique back from them. So sure enough, May of 2021, we were able to do that. And that caused our growth to really skyrocket. And so now we've got quite a big presence in a number of sports, and we're getting amazing feedback from coaches now, and we're really off to the races to build just an amazing video analysis platform.
So we've used it. We were using the original UberSense, and one of the folks that were working with that, we connected with him because we thought maybe there could be some adjustments, things like this, and then we found out that his daughter was a swimmer, so we ended up working with him, and so that's how we kind of came into there. And we are we have some of the top analysts in the world here, and so we were looking at this and said, we need something that we can do quick analysis, very easy to use, and gets has some great features to it. And benefits to swimmers, because we do analysis for swimmers all over the world. For coaches, they'll send it in so that we can accomplish and give them feedback as to what to key on with their swimmers to get that speed that they need. And when we found, going from the UberSense to Huddle, the program didn't do a lot of different things, but we liked it no matter what. But then as that closed down, we went to coach's eye, and we didn't find the same quality that we were looking for. So it wasn't quite as good. But so we re-engaged and started talking with you folks. And then I know they brought up one of the things that they changed was the communication system. And I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know if the communication system would be a big deal until I used it. Oh my gosh, the communication system is fantastic. Coaches, if you want to communicate with your swimmers, it is unbelievable. We'll learn more about it as we do mini clips with gear to really understand what that does, because until you actually see it, you don't quite get it. And then once you get it, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. It's almost like its own little Facebook in there, but even better because you're talking swimming, and it's all about, you can send your video files. It's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about a few of the features, why you included them, and you know what they do to enhance swimmers' performance or any athlete's performance.
Well, at the outset, we knew we wanted to do video analysis. It had been around for, basically 10 years or so, where you're drawing lines and providing voice markup and creating voiceovers, doing side-by-side analysis, things like that. And that's what Huddle Technique and Coach's Eye and others have done, in the past. We thought we could make that even better, but then we wanted to combine it with a communication tool. And what's the primary means of communication now in the electronic world? It's basically texting. So we combined a very robust private messaging system, essentially a private texting system, with the video analysis tools. And that became how you share videos amongst individuals, groups, teams, et cetera. So at the outset, we said, let's just build this platform and take care of the stuff that people sort of just take for granted. And it still hadn't been perfected. Things like sharing a video. If you have a 200 megabyte video, how do you send it to somebody? In the past, you upload it to YouTube, wait for that to get done, then you get a link, and then you email that link to somebody, and it's very, disconnected. And so some of the key things that we want to do is the really basic infrastructure stuff: recording, sharing, and analysis. We keep all videos in full HD quality. We don't degrade them, where in the past because handling videos are big and they're difficult. So we wanted to get the real, basics done well. And then that also meant, because of the advances in the cloud, 10 years ago, these other programs had to bolt cloud technology onto their tools. Well, we came along later, and we got to be, what I call a cloud native application. For example, when you take a video or a photo on your iPhone, Apple doesn't ask you where to save that, or do you want to put it in the cloud? Do you want to make it available here? They just take care of it. And if you open up your iPad or your computer later on, there's your video, there's your photo. They just automatically back everything up to the cloud. We wanted the same type of frictionless, super easy user interface and experience. So that's what we did. We built our own private cloud, and every video you take, every message you send is automatically backed up to the cloud. That means you can use multiple devices. It means if you get a new phone, there's no migration. You just open up your phone and log in, and boom, there's every video, photo, document you've ever had. And so we wanted things to just be simple and easy, and which is always, hard. It's very easy to make things difficult in the computer world. So the simpler it is and the easier it is to use, the harder it was to kind of build. But that's what we really focused on. And we want to be a tool for coaches, get out of the way, let them use video as a means of communicating with their clients, with their athletes, for the purposes of skill development. And we'll just take care of all the nitty-gritty stuff with a video.
And one of the things that I love about it is, like, if you're in the I guess it's the folder, is that what you call it, of the swimmer, or the right, and you're in there, and you can just videotape. It goes directly into them, right, and you can include their parents and kind of share it with them. So that's really great for us, because we have videos, like I said, that we I think we do probably the most video in the world and analysis, at least in the world of swimming, because there's constantly coming in where we're taking the video, right? Or the video's being shot in. And if they have this program, it just comes over so simply. And then we can just immediately go into the analysis and we can have it back to them in a very short time. And it's just really outstanding. And what another great part of it is we can include our videos that we have already built, and we can merge them and send them. So I can say, here's an analysis, here's the educational resource to go with that analysis to show you why we made it that way, made those decisions, put them together, shoot them over, and it's fantastic. We have all these avatars. So we really believe in what you're talking about is the visual is so important, and you're in the visual world, we're in the visual world. And I think visual learning is a very important factor in the future.
Yeah. Well, you also hinted on another thing that people take for granted, which is just organization. You know, if you're a coach and you're coaching and you've got 30, 50, 80 swimmers, you have so much going on that, you know, previously, if you flip open your phone and you record a video of somebody and it just goes on your camera roll, it goes there to die, because 2 days later, you can't go find it. Who was in that one? Where's Tommy? You're scrolling back through all your personal videos.
Was he in, right?
It's impossible. So we came up with a system. We call it people first design, where you just simply add a workspace is what we call it, you know, of your swimmer. And then you simply record videos underneath that person's name. And so by default, you're automatically organizing every video you take. And then you can choose choose whether or not you're going to share the video, how many, which videos. Like you said, you can add parents into the workspace and share it to the parents, multiple, you know, separated parents, et cetera. So we give you a lot of flexibility and simplicity when it comes to just capturing the video, sharing the video, and analyzing it, and try to keep you sane all in the process, and let you be a coach, you know, first and foremost.
And this is one of the big things that I find tremendously important is, so let's say dad's on a trip, business trip somewhere, and mom's, you know, working with the kids, or the opposite. And then I take that video. Now it goes to the swimmer, but I can include mom on it so she can see it. I include dad. He could be somewhere in another part of the world, right? And he's in China and he's getting that. So that's such a great feeling, and it connects the parents so much with your team that we're working on this. And you can maybe put a little arrow here, say, this is exactly what we're working with on Tommy. And it's so heartwarming for a parent to get that in the middle of their busy, you know, maybe they had a good meeting or a bad meeting. It's very, and then all of a sudden something comes in later that night from your kids. It's fantastic. So yeah. Tell me a little bit about what operating systems does your app work on?
So we designed it and optimized it for the Apple platform, right? We're a mobile first company where, you know, you're on the swim deck. You can't be behind a laptop somewhere trying to video and do this stuff. So we designed all these tools to work incredibly well on the Apple platform, iPad, iPhone. Now, if you're a coach, you'll need an Apple product like an iPhone or an iPad to do all the drawing, markup, analysis, side-by-side stuff. But we have an Android app that your swimmers can use, or anybody that you're connected with can use, to stay in touch with you. So you don't have to worry whether or not your athlete or your parent has an Apple or an Android. You can share videos and communicate freely back and forth. But if you're a coach and you want to do the fancier, you know, functionality and stuff, you'll need the Apple platform. And we also have a web app. So from any web browser, you can log in, you can see videos, share videos, comment back and forth. So that makes it super handy, because sometimes it's just nice to pull up on a big screen on your keyboard and, you know, watch the video with grandma behind your shoulder or whatever. So we work on, you know, web browser, Apple, Android. If you're a coach, you'll need an Apple product. And then a little secret cool thing is, ever since November of 2020, Apple's had the M1 chip. That's their own silicon. So if you have an Apple device, laptop, Mac Mini, et cetera, with an M1, you can run our iPad natively. One of the cool things about the M1 is it runs all iOS apps natively on the laptop. So you can install our iPad app natively on your laptop and use all the features and functionality as if it was an iPad, but you've got your full keyboard and everything. So super cool way to experience our app using the M1 chip on a Mac.
That's fantastic. So what's something you absolutely love about OnForm? It's just kind of like your favorite thing.
Well, this could take a long time to discuss, but no. I mean, some of the things that I'm really proud of is we made our entire recording and sharing pipeline full HD quality. Again, going back to the kind of back to basics. A lot of other companies, after you would do a voiceover, they downsample the video because it gets really large, and then the quality is poor, especially in water. When water is moving around, you'll see it pixelate super, super poorly. And so I'm really proud that we maintain full HD quality, no matter, the source or no matter what you do with the video. So you'll always get really, really good results. I'm also really proud of, as a coach, one of the things people do, one of the things you guys do a lot is a voiceover. And so when you use the voiceover feature in our app, there's zero processing time after that's done. So like in Huddle Technique, you used to do a 3-5 minute voiceover. You would wait 2 to 3 or 4 minutes for that video to process.
Sometimes longer.
And sometimes longer. We made
right.
it instantaneous. So there's no waiting. And I guess that probably goes to my most favorite thing about the app is people tell me all the time that it's really intuitive, it's really fast, and, again, gets out of your way. And going back 20 years, I've been doing software for, well, I guess longer than that even. But the number one feature any piece of software can have is speed. It's always the number one feature. Even if you have to do 5 extra button clicks or whatever, if it's fast, if it's super responsive, it's easy to figure out. Speed is the number one feature. And I just love that our app, we take that really seriously, and it's just very high performing. So those are a few of the things that I love.
And we found another thing that a lot of times concerns coaches that we found so far in this product is it's stable. You don't lose videos. It's not, and that can be a big worry when you're videotaping important events that aren't going to happen another time. It stores in there. You're able to do what you need. It's fantastic that way. Stability is always an important thing with us, because if somebody says, hey, do you still have that video? You got it right there. So in your opinion, what does this do for coaches? How does it change their lives?
Well, the genesis goes also back to my previous history with Training Peaks, where the kind of core fundamental part of that platform of communication between coaches and athletes, you would use your GPS watch to track running, or a bicycle power meter to track your cycling, and then as swimming watches from Garmin, et cetera, and FINA and others came along. That thing records your workout, and now you can have a conversation between coach and athlete about your performance, but instead of tuning your fitness, you're tuning your form, right, through video. So video to me is a thing around which you can have a conversation between a coach and an athlete about how to improve your technique. And so we tried to make a platform that allows a coach to have conversations with athletes about video, right? Synchronously or asynchronously, meaning, send me a video from my swimmer 1,000 miles away, and this evening I'll take a look at it and send you some feedback on it, right? So it's that feedback loop of coach communication, of the coach's feedback, looking at a swimmer's form, technique, et cetera, and being able to provide guidance back to the athlete that they can immediately take, understand, and go implement in their next session, right? Next practice workout session. So that's ultimately what the platform does. And that's really, just that alone is the goal of the tool. Allow coaches to provide video feedback so they can help their swimmers skill improvement.
Right. And where fluid mechanics comes in is let's say they say what, two heads are better than one, so to speak. So as if a coach is taking a look at it and they're having a hard time seeing where are the opportunities for this swimmer, right? They send it to us, and that's where we, are able to immediately reveal opportunities on how to improve that swimmer. It helps the coach kind of cut through to be able to say, okay, this is what we need to work on, boom, 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 and let's get it moving. That way it frees you up and it stops the bottleneck of trying to wonder, would this work? Would this work? So we do so much of that. We can easily help guide people so the way is clear and free to be able to move forward. So what sets your app apart from your competitors?
Great question. So a number of things. Because we're a modern, newly built from the ground up app that, the code's only a couple years old, we got to take advantage of, like I said, all the cloud native technology, et cetera. But where it really, I think, shines is the fact that we put a ton of energy into the analysis tools themselves, into the camera technology, allowing you to use all the lenses of your camera, wide angle, high definition, slow-mo, as well as the communication features, right? Plenty of apps focus on one or the other, but we really took our time to get both right. So we have incredibly good video analysis tools, things like manually controlling shutter speed so you get perfect stop motion in any lighting condition. Things like the ability to choose your frame rates and the resolution from the camera, super powerful. Then on the communication side, like we've kind of already alluded to, being able to include, the swimmer, the parents, multiple coaches. We just built this really flexible platform, and we want to get that platform done right and start layering in sort of the exciting little features on top of that just, bring a lot of delight to our customers. So the end result of that is we really focused on the stuff that matters and made sure it works really well.
And we found a lot of times when we'd be videotaping and some of the other products that are out there, that you'll be pointing it right at your swimmer, and then it'll start to kind of fog over. And so by the time you're going along in it, you've got half the video is fogged over, and then it finally clears up. Whereas so far, our experience with this product, you point it, shoot it, and it comes out clear right away. It's shooting fantastically. So that's a big deal, because then you got, let's do another lap, and especially if you're doing races. When you're doing races, you can't do another lap. That's done.
So what you're talking about there is we do a focus lock on the subject. So in sports, because there's a lot of moving action, instead of allowing the camera to constantly manually refocus as things move around, which is what would happen in if you just open up your iPhone camera, because that's slower than what sports moves typically happen, we do a focus lock by tapping the screen. And so once you've done that, it will stay perfect, as you video the swimmer down the lane. So there's so many little subtle things like that when it comes to applying video to sports. Video's been around forever, but most people experience it as Netflix, right? But it's a drastically different use case when you're sitting on your couch streaming a movie in one direction versus trying to take video, scrub it back and forth, play it in frame by frame, slow motion, be able to find all the nitty gritty stuff. That's what we focused on, is the really nitty gritty, using video, as a tool rather than just as an entertainment source.
Right. And back to that, as you move your hand across too, I found programs where you're doing that, and then the whole screen slides off, and then I've got to go find my screen again because it pushes all, and yours just stays right there. It's working perfectly. Yeah, I really enjoy it. And so in every way. Now, one of the things that I really want to get into, and we're not going to do it today, but we'll do it in our mini clips coming up, is the clock tool, because you did some special work on the clock tool. I want to save it for our mini clip because I really want to get into that and show people how this works. But the clock tool is absolutely fantastic. I love what you did with that.
Cool.
We've had the clock tool before, but the things that you did with this are phenomenal. So any hints into next steps you'll be taking with OnForm?
Yeah. So, swimming is one of the sports that we were looking at very, very early on. There's some really cool things that we can do. For example, multiple camera angles, right? Imagine capturing using a GoPro on a stick underwater, so you could capture above water and below water simultaneously. That's something that we're looking at doing. We have actually in prototype, but using external cameras, certainly in the case of swimming, very powerful. Other things like, and there's been these at the end lane cameras where, a swimmer comes in to do a flip turn and there's a camera at the end of the lane on a 10-second delay. They'll do a flip turn, stop, poke their head out of the water and look back at a screen and watch themselves, come in on a delay. So using delay timers for us to capture video, again, from a camera source that would be underwater. So integration with other recording techniques like that, things that we can do that are entire other apps, exist just to do video delay and playback. Those are simply modes that we can add into the app. So there's some fun stuff like that coming along that will make it even more useful, for you and for other coaches as well.
Wow. OnForm, we love this amazing tool. Folks, try this out. It's really worth it. And what it can do for coaches, swimmers, and swimming parents. You can find OnForm on the Fluid Mechanics website to try it for yourself. Just visit www.fluidmechanics.net, click on the FM Fast Track, and go through either the Fast Track or the Fast Track demo under the Products tab. And you'll find OnForm there, and you'll be able to connect right there and get started. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us here.
You bet. Thanks for the opportunity.
Our pleasure.